guys, my name is Sriram. Welcome to Sriram Creations, and I'm presenting you a brand new video again, and it's totally based upon social. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, for today our topic is about national movements, partition and independence of India. So we know that Britain has occupied India many long back, and our Indians started fighting against them. And also, the first independent war took place in 1857, and it is also known as the Indian Rebellion. Okay, so it is not given anywhere in the textbook, but it's an information. Okay. So 1939 and 1947 to 1947 was the most crucial time for India to gain its independence against Britain. Now, before that, in 1935, as I wrote here, the Government of India Act was established and the bill was passed by Britain so that the India can have its government and elections can be held. So, according to this Act, 1935 Act, India's elections took place on 1937. Okay, so in 1937 the first elections took place, and in there Congress was also one of the Congress was a part in the elections, and it also was the leader for many years. So Congress was leading in these elections. How? Like, there were less numbers of voters here. There were only 12% for the province government and 1% for the central assembly. So there were less number of people voting for the government. And in those time, in 1947, the population of India was 390 million. So, and this is almost 10 years back. Of 390 million population was there in 1947, and in 1937 maybe it could be 350 million. We don't know. So in 350 million, just 1% voted for the assembly, and 12% voted for the province assembly. And out of 11 seats, Congress itself won 8 seats. So Congress was leading and everything was going on well, good enough. But here came the problem. When Britain had to fight against Axis powers when the World War started. So the World War started in 1939, and this was when many changes happened. First thing, if India has to participate in the war or not, because we are ruled by Britain, and Britain is also a part of the war. Now, will Indians support Britain or not? That's the $1,000,000 question. We don't know that who we should support or not. Like, there are both reasons for supporting and opposing. What is the reason for opposing? That Britain is not promising that they would give entire independence and their own government for India exactly after the war. They didn't promise such things. And for supposing, there is a big reason, and this is the most important reason, is that the Axis powers, the opponents of Britain, were Germany, Japan, and Italy. Germany, you know Germany very well known as Hitler. He was the ruler of Germany, and he followed Nazism. And this Nazism is a cruel thing that was followed by Hitler, and Hitler even killed the Jews, which you have learned in the previous world wars during world wars. And Italy had Mussolini and fascism. Now, opposing this, many Congress leaders opposed the Hitler ideology and Mussolini ideology, and that was the main reason to support Britain to fight against them and defeat German and Italy, Japan, so that Hitler's Nazism and Mussolini's fascism couldn't occur in India. So that if Japan and these comes to on par with India, then India, it is a nightmare. So what happened is that many Congress leaders opposed Axis powers, and so that they started supporting Britain. So these are the two main reasons: one for opposing, one for supposing. Now, this is when problem came. Congress is there right now. Congress demanded. Actually, Britain had a double standard. It didn't even ask. It didn't inquire India about whether we Indians will take part in the war or not. It didn't question us. It didn't even ask us. So what they did, they just said, "Yeah, you're coming with us," and they didn't. That was a double standard, right? Now, it didn't even ask us, and without saying them, they involved us totally in the war. That was the double standard played by Britain, and we Indians, Congress, demanded for complete freedom. But Britain said a big no. Well, why? Because Britain had two parties over there. One is Conservative Party and one is a Labour Party. Labour Party and Conservative. Conservative Party was the head was Conservative Party was Churchill. Okay, so this Churchill and Conservative Party said that no, we will rule India for many years. Like, this is not a time to stop and dismantle our whole empire with that we built in India. And Labour Party was on par with the Congress ideology. They said that yes, it is better to give India freedom and let the Indians be free. So Labour Party was not powerful. I mean, it was not on power at that time. Conservative Party was the power. It's same like BJP and Congress, how we have in the north, in the central. It's same like that. Conservative and Labour Party. Conservative Party was the head at that time, and they made a decision that they would give dominial status to India. Dominial status means they would have a government. Everything would be done same as now, but the all this empire, Indian empire, would be in the control of the British king. That is, and for that, Congress said a big no. So this didn't work out for Britain. But still, the war started, and Indians were there involved, and Congress leaders, many Congress ministers got super worried. They got upset because the World War started. There are no signs of Britain giving complete freedom. They didn't even promise us. Now, what would be the total consequences that we'll face after the World War? Well, and they were upset. Congress ministers were upset, and in 1939, that is when the World War started, right? So what they did is that these Congress ministers, many of them started resigning. They started resigning because they were upset, and totally Congress was like I mean, Congress went in low conditions and etc. And in 1939, World War started, and even British questioned us that if okay, you are asking us freedom, you India want complete freedom, but that was demanded by Congress, right? But Britain questioned us that are you representing the whole India? Is Congress representing the whole India? No. There are many people, many parties like Muslim League, etc. They were their interests were not protected by Congress. That means they were not giving importance. Like Muslim League wanted many other things. Like they wanted a separate elections for only Muslim and separate, seats for Muslims. And Muslim League, they didn't. No one, Congress didn't mention the Muslim League party interest. Now that's why Congress was not representing the whole India. And now who will represent the whole India? That was the Britain's question. And this also made many people to resign over here. That is the main cause. They were upset because of this. So this is when Muslim League Party will come into our topic. Muslim League Party. So Muslim League Party, one of the next major communities that we know. So Muslim League Party was started in 1906, and at that time it was not so popular. It didn't have mass people population, I mean followers. But in 1930, from 1930 onwards, this Muslim League party grew, and also it evolved into a party, Muslim League Party. And in 1906, actually, what happened is that Muslim League Party was only for UP's landlords, rich Muslim rich landlords were there, right? Those organizations were for UP. From UP, that organization was known as Muslim League. So what happened is that it it increased, and it Muslim League Party got vast, and it turned out into a party, and many Muslim people started following Muslim League Party. Now, what is the demand? What are the demands for Muslim League Party? Muslim League Party, actually, Britain, as I told you before that, Congress resigned. Many Congress members resigned, and they got upset, and that made even Britain to be upset, because how can they do such things? So Britain got upset on the other side, and what happened is that they started giving very less importance to Congress, and they started a policy called divide and rule policy, which made Congress, they gave less importance to Congress and more importance to the Muslim League Party. This made Muslim League Party to entirely vast its empire, and made from 1940 onwards it grew like anything, and Muslim League Party was super famous. But what are the demands of this? Muslim League Party demanded that they want separate electoral seats in the assembly, in the councils, and that also only Muslims should vote for the Muslim seats. That was the main idea for them. And after many long story, in 1909, actually, for this demand, actually, because Congress had many Hindu followers, right? Hindus were voting, and for that demand in 1909 they said, yeah, this would be right, and Congress also agreed, and in 1909 that happened. Now Muslim League Party over here were stood in the election, and blah 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 story happened, and to final conclusion, what happened is Muslim League Party told that it made a stamp. They made a stamp in people's mind that Congress Party is a Hindu party. They made it, but many great leaders in the Congress, like Gandhi ji, etc., told that no, 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 no. Congress is a national party. It's not only for. It's not meant for Indians. I mean, sorry, Hindus. It is also meant for Muslims, any caste, any religion. But not only these, Hindu Mahasabha and RSS, what they did is that these were Hindu. Actually, they supported Hindus, and what they did is in India, they told that in India there are many Hindus. The most more population is of Hindus, and that's why the more land is belonging to Hindu. They made this opinion in people's mind, and this took the advantage for Muslim League, and finally everything happened and made Congress as a Hindu party. And also Muslim League told for Pakistan, it demanded for Pakistan. Pakistan name Pakistan name was coined by a college student. He was a student from Cambridge University, and his name is Ali. And Pakistan's full form, or Pakistan, is P for Punjab, and A for Afghan, and K for Kashmir, S for Sindh, and Tan for Bhutekistan, something, that's Muslim name, I don't know what correctly. So this was coined by Ali, and it was not so popular at that time when he did this. The Muslim League Party thought, no, that is out of dreams. No one can do that. India would not divide like that. So this was not taken consider. It was not considered by the Muslim League parties in the late 1920s like that. But when this divide and rule policy started, Muslim League Party thought it was a fantastic idea that we could divide all the Muslim regions all over the India, British India, all the vast Muslim population areas would all combine and make a separate state, separate country or state as Pakistan, so that it would be better for Muslims to protect their interests, etc. And also, Muslim League told to its people, Muslims, that hey, you will have better business if you are not on par with the Indian or Hindus. Because if Hindus are vast, right, in India at that time, so there were many Hindu business people, and the Muslim people were also interlinked. Like, for example, a Hindu farmer uh, makes paddy, and this Muslim will sell. Now, Muslim and Hindu both are like, they are mutually benefited. But without India, without Hindus' distraction for the Muslims, they thought the business would run excellently. And even Muslim people went in a dilemma. Yes, it's a really good opinion that we have to support Muslim League Party, and we want separate state and electorals, etc. So that was the total Muslim League Party and made Congress like that. And many Congress people, I told you, right, they resigned and started doing their individual satyagrahas itself. To control that, British government got very strict rules to immediately send them into the prison. So even many of the Congress people were in prison, and that's when this all happened. So let me run it. What happened is that British Army and Indian prisoners in Germany and Japan, actually war was going on, right? Now many Indian army prisoners were captured by Germany and Japan. So what happened here is Subhash Chandra Bose went secretly on a mission to get all these German and Indian prisoners and gathered at one place and made them as INA, Indian National Army. And this I and they want and Bose wanted to make that to pressurize Britain so that they would leave India, because they didn't promise us they would give freedom. So this would at least make Britain to leave India. So he formed INA, and this idea was discussed with Gandhiji because it was a secret measure. Only he knew it, and not even the Congress people. No one. He went and discussed with Gandhiji, but Gandhiji said a big no. He said why? Why? Because National Army would cause death of people. If the British Army and the Indian National Army would fight, there would be a great loss, a life loss. And what were the ideology of Gandhi? He told that non-violence, everyone should be peaceful. We should not use weapons, etc., etc. And Bose is saying that to drop an army and start fighting with British. So he said no. Gandhi said no. But still, Bose did not listen to Gandhi's words, and he kept on moving. Okay, let's leave that to there. I'll come to this topic after some time. Now, in 1942, Cripps mission came. Stafford Cripps. He was sent from the British government to discuss about the independence of India. So Cripps mission, he came to India, and he told something, and Muslim League Party did not want it because they didn't said the partition will take place. Muslim League said no, and Congress also said no. So Cripps mission was like a failure, and immediately after Cripps mission, that was in the spring season, like September, etc. And Quit India movement started by Gandhi, and Quit India movement has started. Now, Quit India movement started and it lasted for long. Okay, so Cripps mission was a failure and Quit India movement started. And then in the World War, until then British was weak. Now what happened is Russia defeated the Nazis, the German people, and now Allied powers got the power. What they did is like the winning side was the Allied powers now, and Britain was so happy. Well, they didn't still won the war, but still they were happy, and they are like completely free now. They are little free, right? So they sent army to fight with the INA. They sent British army to fight with the INA. There was a war, and INA lost the war. So from then onwards, we don't know where Bose disappeared. We don't know that whether he died or whether he got disappeared. And there are some rumors that we saw him in Nepal, we saw him in somewhere, but no one knows the real thing where that he was dead or he was disappeared mysteriously. No one knows that. Now coming to almost in last of 1946 February. This is when Mountbatten, he was the viceroy after Wavell. So what he said, now British said, okay, done, we are giving you the independence. To discuss about it, Mountbatten came over here, and what happened is Mountbatten told that partition will take place and Muslim League will get Pakistan, Congress, India would be separated. Now, Muslim League was super happy because it wanted Pakistan. Muslim League was happy. Congress was also happy that because of Mountbatten, his ideologies and British government, they sent him, and everyone happy. And he came in the February 1946, while the World War ended. Everything, and it was the victory of Britain. Now what happened is Muslim League Party was happy, India was happy, everything happened, and they decided something happened, and finally Mountbatten told that in on 14th August 1947. Wait, sorry, this is 1947. Sorry guys, this is 1947. Mountbatten came to India in February 1947, and on 14th 1947 it is the Independence Day for Pakistan. So partition took place on 14th August 1947. It was the independence for Pakistan, and on 15th August, the day that we celebrate every year, 1947, India got independence. And now the government should form, and there were many princely kingdoms over there. There were kings ruling India before that, right? Now, as Indian government is just for some parts of the area actually. Now, the many other parts were ruled by kings. You saw movies, right, like Saira Narasimha Reddy, etc., etc. All were ruled by kings. What happened is that Indian government formed after 15th August 1947. Uh, Government started integration, and integration charge was Patel. You know who is Patel, right? So Patel, he was the in charge of the integration, and he got all the princely states to the India, not British India. Now it's no more British India, to India. And in 1948, there were 550 princely states, and all were joined due to the integration because of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Patel means Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and even his statue is there right now in Gujarat. Now, because of him, integration took place. He was the charge, and 550 princely states, even including Hyderabad, which was ruled by Nizam, was it came under India, and the 550 princely states were now to one country, one big country, the best made to India. Now, this is when total India is exactly in the fall. Now, when did, and in 1971, the privy purses were abolished. What are privy purses? Now, if the kings here are sent back, and 550 kings are there, right? For every princely state, there should be one king, right? For those kings, what will they do now? They can't do anything. There are no more kingdoms, and from where do they earn money? Kings. For that, private purses were introduced in 1948, but in 1971 that was abolished. Now, I think I have covered almost everything. We have covered Government of Indian Act, elections, World War, Quit India, Jocks Mission, and Muslim League Party was done. And yeah, Sare Jahan Se Acha. This song, it was written by Muhammad Iqbal. This song was written, Sare Jahan Se Acha, which is mentioned in our textbook. Muhammad Iqbal wrote this. And an integration took place and Pakistan was formed. Totally, this was our interesting lesson. Actually, you know what? I missed a lot about the war, and most of the lesson, but almost the basic idea for this national movement of partition and independence was totally covered. And also in 1950, January 26 January 1950. You know what is this? Can anyone guess? It was the Republic Day when the government was formed and constitution charge was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Everything was set, and from this day, government was fully held with the constitution, and India is running successfully until now without distractions and many other wars or fights. That was the lesson. So hope you liked it and learned something from it. And leave a comment, feedback. Give me feedback. Do like the video, and don't forget to subscribe Sriram Creations. And I'll catch you in the next one.